Hello, 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 Love Wrestling. Thank you for joining us this afternoon as it is another episode of the Weekend Elite Report. He is the franchise. I am JPJ. Glad to have you guys all here to talk some AEW. And there's a lot to talk about because not only do we have the two shows that we normally talk about every week, which is Dynamite and Rampage, but technically last Saturday was Full Gear. So we have to talk about the results and kind of what stuck out to us about that as well. So there is a whole lot to be talking about when it comes to AEW this week. But first and foremost, Matt, franchise, good to see you, pal. How you doing?
Good, man. Good. It's Sunday morning. It's damn cold, but I'm here and I'm feeling good. Life's getting back to normal. I was back in the office for work.
Very good.
Friday, which is good. So it feels semi-normal again, which is a positive. So
Yeah, that's a nice
thing.
Over
here, feeling good, looking good as always.
Oh yeah, we do our best. We do look rather stunning, you know.
This isn't beards, but hey, but no, feeling good. Full Gear was immensely amazing.
Yes.
Topped off by what we all thought would happened. Yeah, it was just a good way to end a show. The start and the finish to that show were just phenomenal. We'll talk about it, but yeah, it's just good times.
Yeah, I agree. And we want to say hi to our buddy, the Wordsmith, AEW. AEW is correct, my friend. And we have the natural Astrid popping in there saying hello. Always good to see you, Astrid. Thanks for popping in.
Hello, Astrid.
All righty. So let's dive right into this. I don't know if you want to just hit every match or you just want to talk about maybe the bigger things on Full Gear that stuck out to us.
Just the bigger things. I think it doesn't need too much of an in-depth.
Yeah, and we can start with that. First and foremost, I do want to say the tag match that was on the buy-in was an excellent, yes, a very good tag match between those four women who we saw, and we'll talk about, we saw a few of them fight in this week's two shows, and that's why they did it. But that match was solid as hell. It's a very good match. I would definitely go out of your way to watch it if you haven't. But yes, the opening match of Full Gear, MJF.
I just want to say on that women's match, sorry to cut you off,
that's
why I was happy. Oh, HCW, that hurts.
I know. He's right, though. I mean, look at it.
Yeah, true.
You know,
dapper son of a bitch.
It's the gray, right? It's the gray. It's very distinguished. Very distinguished.
Yes,
you know?
very much so. People shat all over the fact that it was on the buy-in, but the reason I was okay with it, it's because it allowed them to have the time that they did. And for that, I don't mind it.
Yeah.
The fact that they were given 13 odd minutes is what we need / want. Would I have preferred it to be on the main show? Yes, but it would have got rushed, caught in a scramble. This way, it stuck out. It was the feature match on the buy-in. It was the only match on the buy-in. So for that reason, I was happy with it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think I understand, and I'm with you. I would have loved to have seen it on the main card, but I didn't want to see it on the main card if it was going to get 6 minutes, and it was some rushed thing. You know what I mean? Like, So, yeah, there are pros and cons. Like, yeah, would you have loved more than one women's match on the main card? Absolutely. But giving them that 13 to 15 minutes where they could tell a good story, a fun story. It was a fun-ass tag match. They could tell a fun, good story in the ring when you knew that these four were going to be, or, they had the one-on-ones coming up in the following week. It was a lead into that tournament. It was a way to showcase these four women who are going to be in the next round of the tournament. It made perfect sense. Yeah. I mean, I think all in all, it fit well in HGW sports, kind of sucking up to you a little bit, saying you got the best accent, they're not
the Aussie trope. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And our boy
I'll take
Pluggo
it.
saying the goats doing goat type shit. That is correct, my friend. Thank you.
Pluggo is also in the GOAT conversation.
He is. As much as I
Still,
shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said it publicly. Oh, something's going down out here. I don't know if you can hear the sirens, but something's doing.
Mr. Coffee McCoffson might have fallen over on the side.
Yeah, I was going to say something's doing out there. The mean streets of Haverhill, Massachusetts. The mean streets. It's not the mean streets. Oh, it's a very white town. It's not. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. But anyway, God, MJF and Darby Allin, match of the night for me.
Yes.
Good Lord, kicks off the show. Dude, and it ties into Dynamite. It ties into the promo that MJF cut on Dynamite, which we'll talk about. But AEW does it on purpose that he doesn't wrestle a lot.
Yep.
But whenever he wrestles, he reminds you and he reminds everybody that he is a top performer in the world in that wrestling ring. Yep. And this is taking nothing away from Darby either, because Darby wrestled a hell of a match too. And you don't really see that side of Darby a lot because you only expect Darby to be jumping off of things and doing crazy bumps. But Darby also showed you too, like, yeah, I can go too. If I need to have just a pretty regular wrestling match, I can do that shit too. These are the two
first
pillars.
5 minutes of this match, the tone was set.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. They were doing the reversals until, the stand, when they do all the reversals, the flips and all that stuff to the standoff. And the crowd was like, oh, it's going to be that type of match. Okay. All right. It's going to be that type of match.
Not only were they not expecting it, they ate it up. As did I.
Oh, yeah. I was eating it up. Like, I was watching it just going, yep, just smiling. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah. As a fan, you like to be shocked, even if it's just like small stuff like that, and it's just so good.
It was such a good match. It set the whole tone for the event. MJF obviously won, but he won being an asshole, using the ring, cheating. But it fits his character. It fits where he's going. In my opinion, he will be the one that beats Hangman for that title.
Yes.
He, as we'll talk about a little bit later in the show, he's got some other stuff he needs to take care of first. But I don't know if it'll be the next pay-per-view in Revolution. I think you would maybe, if you could, save it for Double or Nothing, one of the bigger pay-per-views. But as we knew for a long time that Hangman was going to be the guy that would take it off Omega, I don't think anybody else besides MJF should be the one that is the next champion in AEW. That's just how I feel. Yeah. So that was a hell of an, and Astrid, totally agreeing. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah. So what a way to do that. Then you went right into the Lucha Brothers versus FTR, which the ending was a little weird, and which we found out via reports from Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful, and other platforms that Dax actually got, I don't know if they didn't say concussed. They said he got his bell rung. So nobody ever officially said concussion or anything like that. But they said that at the end of the match, he got his bell rung a little bit. So that's why everything was kind of so clunky or awkward. Because I think they were going for the illegal man thing like they did. But I think it was going to make a whole lot more sense if Dax was not out of it and could partake in the stuff that happened after. You know what I mean?
I just assumed when it happened that it was to just keep the story going because they were meant to wrestle for the AAA titles, but I don't think that event's going ahead anymore. So Yeah.
Are they canceling the whole event? I know obviously Omega's out now because he's going to have surgery and that he can't defend
I
the
heard
title.
something. Yeah, I heard something about some sort of shady underworld type
I haven't looked into
dealings
it, so I don't know. But
gonna, and I could be way off the mark, but that's what I heard. Whether it's still prevalent or not, I don't know. But I digress. Yeah, the ending was weird, but don't let that take away from how good this match was.
no, that match was
It was
real good.
real good, real solid.
Real good.
But yeah, if you have to improvise on the fly for the ending, it is what it is. But the in-ring action leading up to that was amazing.
Yep.
As we knew it would be.
Yeah, 100%. And you knew with those two teams that it was gonna, that was one of the matches I was most excited for because I was like, this is two of the 3, 4 best teams in the world wrestling. Like it's gonna be. Some people would say 2 out of the 2 best teams in the world. You could make the case for it. So the match was excellent.
Top 5.
Yeah, 100%. The match was excellent, and then we went right into Bryan Danielson and Miro, which I thought was another really good match.
Ending for me was a little off, but
it was. He hit that big DDT off the top rope, and then he put him in the submission, and it was like immediately, like he was knocked out before it was kind of similar to what we saw with Evil Uno on Dynamite, where it felt like the way that they were portraying it was that like Bryan already had them knocked out before he even cinched in the submission. So once it was on, the ref was like, nah, he's already out. Like, it's over.
Yeah.
Which makes me think, well, if he's already out, why don't you just call the match when he's out? But, it's just, but either way, like basically like the tag match we just talked about, everything leading up to that was just good shit. Just real good shit.
Yeah.
What other matches? I mean, how'd you feel about Eddie Kingston and Punk? Were there any other matches besides? Obviously, we're going to talk about Hangman and Omega too, but
Punk and Kingston was what it needed to be. Was it, Darnell, what's up? It didn't need to be anything more than what it was. It was just 2 guys beating the shit out of each other, which was fine.
Oh yeah,
I enjoyed it for what it was.
I did too. It was the shortest match on the card. Shortest match on the card.
Initially I thought the wrong person won, but after Dynamite, I probably think the right person won. Which we'll talk about more. But yeah, that was a fun sprint. Just 2 guys just wailing on each other, middle fingers and swear words. Just fantastic.
Yeah, it was real good. The spinning back fist before the bell officially rung.
That was quality.
Punk selling it the way he did, like he was like actually knocked out.
Yeah.
And just Kingston kind of looking towards the camera and the crowd with that psychotic like grin on his face, like, yep. Oh man, that was good stuff. It was good stuff.
But you can tell Punk's having fun. Like even
yeah.
When was the last time you saw Punk blade? Probably 10 years ago, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. WWE, tries to avoid that stuff. I can't even remember.
I can't even remember there.
I agree.
So
I agree.
Probably be indie days, maybe 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So but Fight Shorts Punk was a good scene. That was fun.
Yeah. What did you? Suit. Yeah, I did too. I thought it was different, and I liked it. Oh, we got our boy Mr. Parrish popping in there saying what's going on. Always good to see you, Chris. Thanks for hopping in there. What did you think about, before we dive into Omega and Hangman, what did you think about the women's championship match between Britt Baker and Ty Conti?
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good. It wasn't, it wasn't crisp. It wasn't perfect, but it was 2 women wanting something so bad that they were just willing to fight for it. And I say it all the time, fights aren't perfect. And this was a fight. It was a brawl. And I thought it was good. The way I didn't ideally need Britt to kick out of all of Ty's good stuff.
Yeah, that was the one thing for me too. I was like, man, you don't want to protect at least one of those moves. Like, I get Britt's the champion and she's like the most, I get it, but like all of them. Like,
but at the same time, she couldn't get the lockjaw on. And when she did, Ty got out like to the ropes. She had to win by a roll up. So Both women look really good. Britt only gets better. Ty is the fact of where she's come from 12 months ago to now is
Unbelievable.
ludicrous.
Mm-hmm.
And I say it all the time. It's not a blight on the Performance Center and the way they did business there. Some people just don't excel
That way.
training.
Yeah.
Some people like to train and then get the reps in. That's where Dark and Elevation come in handy. That's where Ty has excelled, and it worked for her. So kudos to her. She's worked her ass off, and she deserved the spot. She'll be champion at some point, I have no doubt.
Yep.
But yeah, that match was really, really good. They got a good amount of time, which I was happy with. A lot of people said it probably dragged a little towards the end and maybe went maybe a minute or two too long.
I don't know. I feel
I only thought that because Britt was kicking out of so much stuff. If they maybe just had some normal action, it probably wouldn't have felt like that. But in saying that, it was a solid match.
Yeah, definitely was. I felt like when the match started, the crowd was a little worn out. And so like they were a little quiet, but you could tell by not even halfway through, but by like, when they started kicking it up a little bit, kicking the gear up a tad, they won the crowd over. And they won the crowd over because it was a good match. And so it just goes to show like how hard those ladies worked in that match. There's there were a few 2 or 3 other matches besides the main event, which we'll talk about. And Astrid agrees with us. Did not like her kicking out of all of Ty's moves. It's one. Is it something we're going to remember a year from now? Maybe not. Or even 5-6 months from now, maybe not. But when it's so fresh, it's just one of those things where it's like we all knew Britt was going to win. We all knew she wasn't going to lose the title. But it's like you've done a great job at building Ty up to this match, to get to this level. And it's one of those things where it's like, man, like couldn't save one of the moves.
You look at the simple stuff, like go back through any of Omega's losses in Japan, whatever. Notoriously, whenever he loses, he doesn't hit the One Wing Angel at all, ever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, people don't not kick out of it. He doesn't hit it, and then they roll out. Nothing. Mm-hmm. If he loses, he just doesn't get it. And that's fine. Like they could have built a story around where Ty, one of her big moves, she just couldn't get it on Britt. She just couldn't hit it. Britt just avoided it at all costs, and turn that into a story for a future feud or something like that. There's ways they could have done it, but they went the way they went. It didn't take it took away a little bit from the match for me, but overall the match was really good.
Yeah, I agree. Do you want to just go into the main event, or were there any other things that stuck out to you in some of the other matches we haven't discussed? I know there was the Pac, Cody, Andrade, Malachi Black match.
No, there was nothing in that for me.
Yeah.
The 6-man.
Oh yeah, the 6-man.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun.
Yes.
I didn't think it was outrageously amazing. I thought it was just fun. Mm-hmm. Seeing Jungle Boy do what he did was.
I was going to say, seeing Jungle Boy turn into Jungle Man.
Yeah, it makes you think. It puts doubt in your mind that is he going to turn on Christian? But we all know it's not going to happen. But that's the route they're seemingly going with it. Yeah, I would too.
Love it if it was Jungle Boy that did it.
Oh. He almost looked orgasmic once he'd done it. He was.
Yeah, he was like, and I don't know. I mean, we all assume, like you just said, that they're going to turn on each other, and everyone most likely thinks it'll be the old Christian, the veteran, turning on the young guy. But I did hear some people say, like, do you think that was Christian passing the torch of the concerto to Jungle? Like, like, hey, you can take this move moving forward. You know what I mean? Like, you can do this, or I don't know. I heard that and I was like, oh, that'd be kind of fun if they did it that way too. But I would love it to be Jungle Boy being the one that turns. But I do think it probably will be Christian, the old guy getting a little angry or fed up with the young guy. But if Jungle Boy would have turned, first of all, it would be out of nowhere. Like of nowhere. I feel like the majority of people would be like, whoa, did not see that coming. But Jungle Boy's over. That song, the entrance theme is over. People want to sing it. If you turn him heel, you're losing that.
Yeah.
You know.
I think that'll be a reason why Christian probably turns on him. He probably gets sick of the fact that Jungle Boy gets all the fanfare, all the love, and just loses the plot. Because that was what they did with Christian and Edge back in. Edge got Christian got cranky that it was always Edge and Christian, not Christian and Edge. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Sick of playing second fiddle. Blah 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 blah. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think
It'll be what it'll be.
I think Ontario Gumby, thanks for joining, says definitely felt like passing the torch. If he didn't approve, he wouldn't have let Jungle Boy do it. I agree.
Absolutely.
All right, let's talk about this main event, and let's talk about the crowning that we were all waiting for, that we all knew was coming. And Hangman Adam Page defeating Kenny Omega to become the new AEW heavyweight champion. I know me, you, and Astrid, we did a preview show that unfortunately there were issues and we can never get the thing to launch, but we did a preview show.
Bloody technology.
The Love Wrestling Lost Tapes. That's going to be released on the Lost Tapes. But we did a preview show, and in the preview show, I said that I wanted Hangman to kick out of the One Wing Angel, and you were like, nope, I do not want that to happen. Well, we didn't see that. However, during the match, Hangman hit Kenny Omega with the One-Winged Angel, and Kenny Omega kicked out of the One-Winged Angel. How did you feel about that? You think that was okay because it's his own? He's kicking out of his own move, or were you still not thrilled? Not thrilled. Okay.
No.
Okay. I wanted your opinion on that because when I mentioned that last week, you were like, "No, I don't want that to happen," and I was like, "I do," and you were like, "No." Mm-mm. So you didn't even like Omega being the one.
Don't get me wrong. It's Kenny's move, and he'll do with it as he sees fit. I can't change that. But when you have the most protected finisher in all of professional wrestling,
I think this
doesn't need to be done.
I think it's the second most. It's been kicked out of what, twice? Do you know how many times End of Days has been kicked out of?
Fuck off. Don't start with that.
Zero. No, I'm just kidding. I know.
How many world titles has Corbin won?
It was a joke. It was a joke, but it's true though. Technically, two people have kicked out of the One Wing Angel.
He's too busy giving freaking cuddles to Madcap or whatever his name is.
Madcap Moss, bro. Madcap Moss. Get it. Let's get it.
Anyway. Yeah, no, I didn't like Hangman Page hitting a One-Winged Angel, but just the way this match went, it was just so good.
Oh my God, it was very good. It was very, very good. A lot of callbacks, which you would expect. AEW is good about that with certain things happening at the end of the match. We did see we didn't talk about, we did. We see the Young Bucks coming down, limping, barely walking down there. And we kind of see them, especially Matt Jackson, which is fitting because Matt and Hangman they were the ones that butted heads early on. It was really them two that really started the Hangman leaving the Elite because Matt was fed up with his shit. So to see, he goes over, he kind of shoos off Nick, who tries to interfere a little bit, and then he goes to the other side, and Matt's there, and Hangman looks at him expecting Matt to do something, and Matt just kind of does all right. Like he gives him the nod, like, all right, it's your time, bud. Go do it.
Yeah.
Do what you got to do. And he just, even though he doesn't want it to happen, you could tell he's like, just do it. Just do what you got to do, man. And
the layered storytelling just in that little nod. It's ridiculous. Like it's layered in story, but it's also layered in reality. We all know the back history and the story, but you got the reality portion of it where you got two guys that are essentially Adam Page's boss, basically saying, this is your time, your moment, do what you got to do, enjoy this. Now is the time.
Yeah.
And what more could you want as a performer than to be trusted in such a vein?
100%. And so Hangman hits back-to-back buckshot lariats, gets the pinfall. The Dark Order comes down to celebrate with him. I believe it was Reynolds who had the beer. He hands the beer to Hangman, and Hangman says, "Fuck this beer." And he just throws the beer out, and he goes, "Nah, man, I just want to hug my friends."
Yep.
And perfect. Because since Hangman's come back,
I cried.
yeah, it was emotional. And I want to actually, before I say it, because I like to say facts, even if I'm kind of like, I think that's right. But since he's come back, Hangman hasn't drank, right, on screen. Is that true?
Don't
Am I
think
true?
so, no.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
So since he's returned, we have not seen him physically with a beer or with a drink or anything like that on screen either, which was obviously a huge part of his character before he went away, and with his doubts. And the whole story has been, the bigger story, the bigger outline of the story is Hangman had to believe in himself that he could do it, right? And part of the drinking was part of his insecurities and his doubts, and he would, like very much happens to normal people with things like that. It's a very normal thing that everyone can relate to, which is why I think Hangman got so over and this story was so compelling, is because, it's about a wrestling show, but at the same time, what Hangman is dealing with is stuff that everyday people deal with all the time. Oh, there you go. All right, so we were wrong. Ontario says when he won the ladder match, he drank a beer. He drinks in celebration instead of depression. So, all right. Yeah. So that makes sense then. But,
nice.
yeah. And then this time though, with Reynolds, he was like, "No, I don't want a beer right now. I just want to hug you guys. You guys are my friends." And it was wonderful. It was a great moment. Astrid in there saying that she cried as well. It was a very emotional moment. It was a 3-year build, man. It was a 3-year build to this. Like ever since that first press conference where Hangman was like, "No, I'm going to be the first ever AEW champion." That started this story. And for it to end at Hangman's pay-per-view, Full Gear is his pay-per-view.
Yep.
Man, it was good. It was good stuff. And it was a good way to end the show. It was a good emotional way to end the show. Full Gear. I'm not gonna throw it in All Out territory because All Out was just a completely different thing. But Full Gear was another excellent pay-per-view by AEW. And they don't miss that often when it comes to their pay-per-views, their big shows. They usually hit pretty well. And this one was another really from top to bottom excellent show. It was very good. All right, so let's dive in. Oh, we got our boy Cody popping in here saying hello. What's going on, my man? Thanks for hopping in today. We're about to dive into AEW Dynamite. Just talked a little bit of Full Gear to start the show. And now we're going to dive into Dynamite. Yeah, Mr. Defoe.
I just want to say, if anyone can see that, the top of that poster, Jericho, Moxley, Omega, and Hangman. Yeah, they knew all of them.
Tony Khan came out publicly and he said, before this thing even started, I knew who I wanted my 4 first champions to be. He goes, that was all part of the story.
And they had, and like a good horror movie, it was in front of your face the whole time, and no one blinked an eye.
Yep. Unbelievable.
And people, I read the other day, people are like, "Oh, he had no idea." Piss off.
Yeah.
You don't know.
No. None of us truly know, but
we have no reason to not believe him at this point.
Yeah. 100%. I fully agree that we really have. He has not proven to us that he would lie about that. Why would he lie about that? You know what I mean?
No
like,
reason to.
No, absolutely not. So,
could it be a happy coincidence? Sure, but
maybe, yeah,
geez, it'd have to be one because they are in order.
Literally, they are in order.
Yes.
Like,
that's a big. It'd have to be a big coincidence.
Yeah. That would have to be like a super, yeah. I
personally have no reason to not believe him.
I agree. All right, let's slide into Dynamite on Wednesday. As always, we are opened into the show by JR. It's Wednesday night. You know what that means. But this was a special Dynamite because we were in Hangman's home state. We were in Virginia, and it was National Cowboy Shit Day, Matt. It was National Cowboy Shit Day.
And we put it Cowboy Shiznit.
Yeah, Shiznit. Cowboy Shiznit, which I get it, but like they clearly say shit all the time on Dynamite. Like, why doesn't he just say shit?
I don't know. Even Shivani says shit on commentary sometimes.
Yeah, like they all say shit all the time. Like they just throughout the whole Dynamite, there's shit here, shit. But JR
Just
still
say
is like, nope. He's like, shiznit. Whatever, man. Cool. I don't mind it.
That's
Made me
his trope,
laugh.
whatever.
But it's just, yeah. But before we get to the first segment that happened in ring, we do see Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and Adam Cole backstage. I loved this. And Omega basically on screen says that he's a little banged up and he's got to go away for a little bit, which we all kind of read the reports that he had been working with like vertigo since like 2019. What?
Ridiculous.
What?
Since
to the point where
AEW.
I think he said he had a quote where he said he had to learn to wrestle with the ring being like upside down or sideways. What?
Yeah.
Like he could have seriously hurt himself or somebody. That is scary stuff. And it just shows how incredible, like what we saw from him for his championship this past year, knowing how banged up bad shoulder, bad knee, vertigo. What? Imagine he was at 100%. How, like, holy moly. But yes, so Omega announces that.
Performer.
Oh, he's unbelievable. Hangman announces Omega announces that he's going away, and he kind of looks in the general direction of the other three. He was joined by the Young Bucks and Adam Cole. And Astrid even says, she goes, I have worked with vertigo. I cannot begin to imagine wrestling with her. I've never had vertigo. I've only heard stories of it, and I cannot imagine it either. I don't know how that is possible.
Mate, pro golfers have pulled out of tournaments with vertigo because they just couldn't stand straight.
Yes. Your equilibrium is like completely. He's wrestling 5-star matches and main events of shows and like bangers too, like clearly bangers. And he has like that is insane.
The people that he's working with still trust him enough to do it.
Yeah. Where they know, like, oh man, one thing any wrestling match, you could get seriously hurt. You could die in
Just
there.
Go and look at
at
that twisting sunset powerbomb that he hit on Hangman. That could have gone so wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it looked gnarly as shit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, big time.
But
crazy.
Absolutely.
And he looks over in their general direction and he says, I hope you can hold down the fort while I'm gone. And Adam Cole goes, yeah, Kenny, I got it. And Kenny,
no worries, cleaner. We got it.
Yeah. No worries, cleaner. I got it. And Omega kind of looks at him and chuckles and he goes, I was talking to the Bucks.
Yeah, this is awkward. I was talking to the
Bucks. And Adam and Cole's just like, oh, yeah, okay, yep. And in that moment, I mean, we kind of have talked about it. Like we think that's I had assumed that Omega would take a little bit of time off. I didn't know that he was, he's going to get cleaned up surgically. Like I heard Meltzer say, like they're hopefully aiming for like February. So it's going to be a while. We're not going to see him for a bit. Yeah, he's all sorts of banged up. Like go get healthy, take care of yourself. Good to go. When he comes back in February, him at 100%, like, yeah, okay. Yeah. But I think what they're going to do is Adam Cole is going to become the de facto leader of the Elite while Kenny is gone. And Kenny comes back, February, March, whenever it is. And that's the feud. It's Cole and Omega for the, maybe not leadership, but for some whatever, that's going to be the feud. And I'm here for it.
I would love Cole to kick him out only because I want to see Kenny come back. And if he's only going to wrestle for a couple more years, as he stated, then I want to see him as a face.
Yeah.
Just wrestling banger after banger after banger after banger. Doesn't even have to go for the title or any titles or anything anymore. Just, give me.
Yeah.
And we'll get Brian versus him again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, two faces, or it could be, they'll switch. They could even switch it by that point after what we saw.
100%.
So,
we then,
yes, please.
I know. Yeah. We then go to the ring, and all the Dark Order members are in the ring, and they welcome the new AEW Heavyweight Champion, Hangman Adam Page. Page gets
Johnny
into the ring.
Hungy loved this. He ate this up.
Yeah, he was having the time of his life in there. The crowd is going bananas, chanting cowboy shit. Page tells the crowd to quiet down a little bit because they were chanting the "You deserve it," and he goes, no, I didn't deserve it. I earned it.
Mm-hmm.
Which that was a huge pop. I loved how he said that because it's true.
Yeah.
I thought that was excellent.
Yeah.
Then Page is in the ring. He says he wants to celebrate National Cowboy Shit Day with you. He says he understands the responsibility that this belt carries, and that Bryan Danielson is up next. And then Danielson comes right down the ramp, and he's clapping for Page as he's walking to the ring. So you think, all right, here comes good guy Bryan Danielson. He's going to get in the ring. They're going to shake hands. He's going to say, "I can't wait to fight you. It's going to be an honor," and blah blah blah. And nope. That is not the Bryan Danielson we got.
Well, initially it was.
Well, initially, yes. He played it off that way. So he comes down, he's clapping. He grabs the mic. He says, "I just came out here to say one thing, and that's congratulations." And you think you're going to get that. And then Danielson, the first kind of little thing he says, he goes, "I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a little surprised and disappointed that it's not Kenny Omega standing in this ring." Mm-hmm. And the crowd's kind of like, "That was a dick move. What the hell are you saying that for?" Yeah, like, what the hell, bro? And then he just Bryan just goes in then. Page says he's not in the ring because he kicked Omega's ass at Full Gear. And then Bryan says when he wrestles Page for the title, he won't be in a Ghostbusters Halloween costume. He's there to wrestle. But he goes, but clearly Adam Page isn't here to wrestle because he's only here to flap his gums. And Daniel Bryan even said, he goes, when I won the world title at WrestleMania, I wrestled the next night. And it was like, ooh. Once he said, I was like, ooh, I sat up in my chair. I was like, oh, we're talking about WrestleMania. What do we do? Okay. We're just mentioning WrestleMania. Rock and roll. All right, let's go.
That's it.
Yeah. Oh my God, it was wonderful. Then they get in each other's faces a little bit. They push each other. Dark Order kind of separates them. And then Danielson says that the Dark Order won't let Hangman go because they know Danielson will destroy him and kick his ass. And that's how the segment really ends. Super hot opening segment. Was not expecting heel Bryan Danielson, but once it happened, that's all I want to see. That's all I want to see. What'd you think about the man? Were you as high on this segment as I was? It was so good. So Danielson, unreal.
Yeah. Introducing Hangman the way they did in Virginia was amazing. Comes out with the title. I don't know if it's just me, but the belt looks bigger on Hangman than it did on Kenny. It looks so big, but it is what it is. Initially, I was like, why does Danielson need to come out? But once he did, I was happy he was there for this reason. Yeah, this was all of the fun stuff. The fun stuff. Just Bryan's just so good. He gets it. He always has. Jeez. It was a good time to turn him. Well, semi-turn him, considering where they're going. But yeah, you can just see the twist in the match, and we'll talk about it in a sec. But you can see the twist in the character, and look, I was fine with face versus face, but if they're going to go face Hangman versus heel Bryan Danielson, yes, please.
Yep, I fully agree. And so then we come back from commercial, and Danielson is in the ring with Evil Uno as they are having a match. And you could see it even happen, like you just mentioned, throughout this match, where the match starts off, Danielson is kind of taking it. He's not having a tough time with Uno, but it's a back and forth match for the most part. And then there's just one section throughout the match where Bryan just gets a little upset and he starts yelling at Uno. He says, "You're trying to embarrass me." He's just yelling at him. "You're trying to embarrass me," whatever. And you could just kind of see it. happening and his facial expressions, the way he started wrestling, he started doing more like violent strikes and like just being aggressive more. And the thing, he looks towards the crowd when Uno's down and he just yells in the crowd, "I'm going to kick his fucking head in."
That was
And
so
it was
good.
just like, okay. It's like, all right, that's what's going on. And you're just like, man. And the crowd was eating it up. They were booing the shit out of him. The crowd was eating it up. And then he literally just did the thing where he grabs both arms and he stomped the shit out of Evil Uno. Like, that felt like 24 stomps to me. It felt like the most stomps he's ever done in that move. He just repeatedly stomped right on the head of Evil Uno. Good Lord, man. He had already hit the big knee that we've seen 1,000 times before that. And then he just puts him in a submission, the triangle choke, and Uno's basically already unconscious at that point. And the second he's in there, the ref stops the match. And Danielson doesn't let go right away. He keeps it on a little bit longer because he's a dickhead now. So he just keeps it on a little bit longer. And then he grabs the mic and he goes, all right, well, I don't know when this match with Hangman is happening, but until it does, I'm going to kick the shit out of every member of the Dark Order, which I love. And he goes, and next week we're in Chicago, so I might as well start with Colt Cabana, hometown boy. And that is how that match and this whole first little Danielson double section of Dynamite ended. What'd you think of the match with Uno? What'd you think of the completion of the Danielson heel turn, we can call it? What do you think about Cabana and him next week? How you feeling about all this stuff?
It's all good. There's no negative here.
There isn't. There really isn't.
No, I don't understand where, and I saw it on Twitter. Like there was a narrative that why does Daniel Bryan have to prove himself and go through the Dark Order to get to Hangman? He doesn't need to get to Hangman. He's gonna get to Hangman anyway.
He already has it. He's doing this for fun.
He's doing this for fun.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what it feels like. He's just like, I'm going to fucking destroy everybody you like all your friends.
Yeah. Yeah. Until yeah.
And it's like,
anyway.
And you
know
the
fans
that
always win.
Of course. And you know that he is going to just ruin Colt Cabana next week in Chicago. He's just going to ruin him.
Yeah. And the hate's going to rain.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's just one of those things.
But this is the time where the hometown guy doesn't need to win.
Correct.
This is the time where the hometown guy can get destroyed. Because then you got, the other Chicago man on the card that's going to win, and the crowd's going to be happy with that. So, but the match I thought was fun. Early on, Bryan showing absolute disdain to Uno's chops was just hilarious to me. Considering he's been through matches with Kingston, Suzuki, and Uno chopping him, and he's like, "Yeah, no, I ain't having it."
No,
it was
not tonight.
Fantastic.
Not tonight.
He just brushed him off. He's like, "Come on, man." He's like, hit me hard. He's like, "Come on."
Have you been watching the show the last couple of weeks, Uno? You think this is gonna work? Like, you know what I mean?
Nah. And he got his attention a bit later on, which was
he
good.
did. Yeah.
There was a rolling forearm strike that he hit to Uno near the end. I was like, "Oof." That was
stiff.
Yeah, that was stiff.
Yeah.
But the ending of this match was for me. That was, as you said, just yelling. He just yells to the crowd. You get over here in the mic. He's like, "I'm gonna kick his fucking head in," and you're just like, "Oof."
Yeah, like here we go. Here we go.
Good.
Yeah.
And then as an MMA fan too, once he locked the triangle choke in, just a real dick move. He knows he's got his man beat. He's going.
Yeah, he's flexing.
Like this.
Yeah, he had the double flexes. Yep.
So good. So good.
It was fantastic.
But as I said, Bryan making it a point to run through the Dark Order until he and Hangman eventually, it's good because it's also going to piss Hangman off. Because by the time he gets to Hangman, he's going to have destroyed all the Dark Order, and Hangman's going to be like, "I'm going to fuck your shit right up."
Yep.
And Hangman's going to beat him, and it's going to be amazing.
I agree. And I'm ready for it. And then you're going to complete that story too, where Omega couldn't beat Bryan Danielson. Bryan Danielson couldn't beat Kenny Omega. And Hangman's first two,
said this.
his championship victory and his first title defense, he's going to beat them both back to back.
And I loved the point you bring that up. I loved when Hangman said, "Well, I did what you couldn't do. I beat
Correct.
Kenny in under 30 minutes."
In under 30 minutes, and the crowd was like,
And I was like,
"Ooh."
"Oof."
The crowd was like,
Yeah,
"Ooh."
so good.
Exactly. Yeah, it's such good story. It's such good storytelling. And it's, oh my God, AEW just they're not perfect. They don't nail everything. They nail a lot of stuff. They don't nail everything, but when they have shown that, man, they know what they're doing. Like, they can write a damn good
And that's
story.
the thing. And that's the thing here. Like, you may not, people online or whatever may not be may not understand why Brian's going to go through the Dark Order before he gets to Hangman or any of that sort of stuff. But at least they have a plan.
Mhm.
Like, it's not a week to week thing. They've got their starting point.
Mhm.
They may not have all the details in the middle, but they've got their starting point, or their first couple of starting points. They
Mhm.
know what their end goal is,
Yep.
and they'll fill in the blanks.
Mhm.
And they're not going to do it week to week, an hour before the show goes on air. They've proven that they don't do that. And so, just if the story is not for you, that's fine. But just think about those things. When you're shitting on it, just remember they obviously have a plan and it will play out. It may not play out in 5 minutes, but it will play out.
Yes.
And they've proven time and time again that they will reward you for letting that happen.
Absolutely. We then get an MJF promo.
Oof.
And this promo was recorded at Full Gear, or at least at Full Gear after the match. I know I usually talk and I usually go through the promos, but I'm gonna let you take this one. But this was an angry MJF. This was MJF, a lot of yelling, pissed off, but in a good way, like a celebratory pissed off, if you could say. And the gist of it was he was just saying, everyone only thinks that I'm good at the stick. Everyone only thinks that, oh, well, MJF, he can talk, he can blah, 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 he can do this, he can do that. He goes, but you always seem to forget that I'm one of the best in the world in that ring too. And every time I get in there, I prove over and over again to you people just how damn good I am. And it's to the point now where none of you can deny it. And again, what's the thing that you always say? Facts.
Heel speaking facts.
Correct. And this is what he was doing. This was a fire promo for MJF. I mean, all of his promos for the most part are pretty fire, but this one was a very good, angry. It was very good. I'll let
These
you
are the
take it from
promos
there.
that these are the promos that I want from MJF. He doesn't need to degrade or insult people from a town, or go into this real weird sort of stuff that he's been going, the lazy heel route that he's gone lately. This is what I want from MJF. It was all facts. It was intensity. He was, saying, I don't know what's wrong with my knee, but doesn't matter. I still went out and I still killed it.
Yep.
And he did exactly what he said he was going to do. He beat Darby Allin with a headlock takeover.
Yep, he did. Oh my God, ridiculous. Yeah, we didn't even talk about the end when we talked about Full Gear, but he hits him with the diamond ring, and he literally just does a headlock takeover and pins him like he said he was going to be. Just such a man, it's just unbelievable.
And people, I didn't know much about MJF before AEW.
I didn't either.
But if it's taken you this long to figure out he's this good in the ring, I implore you to go back and watch Double or Nothing 2019 versus Jungle Boy.
Fantastic match. It was the best match of the night, I think, that night too. Or
go back and watch that. If you didn't figure it out then I can't help you.
Yeah.
And that wasn't one carrying the other. That was just two really young, solid guys just
the pillars, man.
showing out and showing out. It's
Yep.
ridiculous. And MJF, I believe, has beaten all of the others.
Yes, he has officially beaten all the other 3 pillars. So he is the top pillar standing. And again, that fits into the narrative of his character. His character is, I'm better than you, and you know it. And you talk about the 4 pillars, MJF has beaten all the other 3. And all the other 3, they have not beaten. It's not like he was getting wins back. Like he only fought them once, and MJF beat them all. So, and we're going to talk about it in a little bit later, where he's going next. And he's going to beat that guy too. And that's going to be a big deal. But we return from commercial break, and we're shown highlights of the CM Punk Eddie Kingston match from Full Gear. And then we have Eddie Kingston in the back with Tony Schiavone, and he's immediately interrupted by 2.0 and their son, Daniel Garcia, which sets up Eddie Kingston challenging Daniel Garcia to a match, which is going to be great. Did they announce? Is that on Dynamite or Rampage this week? I'm assuming. Is it Dynamite?
Rampage coming. Black Friday Rampage.
Black Friday Rampage. Yep. Oh yeah, because they have the Thanksgiving Eve Dynamite, the Thanksgiving edition of Dynamite as well. So holiday flair this week. But on the Rampage, we will get Eddie Kingston.
He better not be there.
Wait,
I don't want him there.
Wait, did I
You said Flair.
Flair? Oh yeah. I think sooner or later we're going to see the other Flair in AEW. I think that's a possibility. But imagine that. That'd be right there. You talk about like who's the next big person. If that were to ever happen, that would be a blow. That would be a blow. That'd be like holy shit. Yeah. Holy shit. That would be. But yeah, I thought this was a fun little segment. The 2.0 guys, just hilarious. Getting over there. Eddie Kingston, huh? They're just doing this stuff. And then I love how Kingston is like, I'm not even fucking bothering with these guys. He looks right at Daniel Garcia. He goes, what's wrong with you? Having them call you their son? Like, what the hell is this shit? Like, what is that?
I don't respect you for that.
Yeah, I don't respect you there. I don't respect you. And then they kind of got in each other's faces, and it led to the match. Short and sweet. I'm going to love watching Daniel Garcia and Eddie Kingston also beat the shit out of each other. It's going to be good. I thought it was a quick, short, sweet. The 2.0 guys have entertained me every time they've been on my TV screen, dating back to when they were kind of right before they got released and they were doing the thing in NXT. They were super entertaining. They found a role for themselves, obviously got released, got picked up by AEW immediately, and they ended up being the people that literally in 7 years were the first people that got physical with friggin' CM Punk. Those 2 guys. Yeah, man. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I'm looking forward to the match.
And they fit in on BTE too. It's ridiculous how well they fit in on that damn show. Good Lord.
I mean, you would think they would, right? Like you would think they would. It's amazing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's they rock up. They call Eddie Kingston a prick and all sorts.
Yeah.
And Kingston and Garcia butt heads, and Garcia didn't even say anything.
No, he barely did.
He's like, I know where you're from, bro. He goes, we're just gonna fight. And Garcia's like, okay.
Yeah, fine. I'm cool. Garcia's like, I like fighting. I'm good with it.
But that just shows you the faith they have in Garcia. Garcia's had a
he's fought CM Punk. I'm drawing a blank. Yeah, he fought Mox. He's gonna fight Eddie Kingston. Like he
fought Suzuki on the Indies.
Yeah, Suzuki on the Indies. Like, dude, that guy has had and he's officially signed now there. Like,
and he's like 22.
Yeah, he's real young, 22, 23 years old. So, like, you talk about, there are the 4 pillars, but when you talk about a guy like that, and you talk about a guy like Dante Martin, who's 20, like, it's
Lee
like Lee Moriarty, who's young. Like, there are those 4 pillars,
but then there's another level below that.
A lot more young talent that they have that are going to be that could be equally as good as all those 4 guys too. And
we'll talk about someone when we get to the main event too. I think he's only 27.
Yep, we will. But the next match we have is a tag match. We have the Butcher and the Blade, accompanied by Matt Hardy and the Bunny, versus Orange Cassidy and Tomohiro Ishii.
Yes.
Of Chaos. Yes. You are a New Japan guy. You love New Japan. I obviously have seen plenty of Ishii matches because he's one of the, he's one of the guys that is mainly in a big match or a semi-big match. Most of the time I watch the New Japan big events.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit more about him. I'll let you kind of lead here with this tag match, what you thought, if it kind of lived up to the bill, being a New Japan fan, of what you were expecting from Tomohiro. Obviously, Rocky Romero was also in their corner as well, as we saw him on Dynamite fighting last week. Yeah, so lead us through the match. Let us know what you think and, how it ended up being for you, being a New Japan guy with Ishii making an appearance.
Yeah, I thought they did well with it, to be really honest. I would have enjoyed Ishii having his own music because his music is fire. It's really, really good. But that didn't happen. It is what it is. That's just nitpicky. But any North American fans who hadn't seen Ishii would have thought, what is this guy? This stocky, not very tall guy, no neck.
Yeah.
What am I watching?
Yeah, he kind of has the walk with his arms up, like just.
Yeah, what am I watching here? He walks like a penguin. What am I watching here? Like they're probably thinking, this is ridiculous. What am I watching?
Yeah.
You saw what you were watching. Like some of the exchanges him and Andy Williams had were ridiculously good.
Real good.
I thought that this was a good choice of opponent for Ishii and for Ishii on coming to AEW, especially Andy Williams, who has got himself in amazing shape.
He looks real good. Yeah, lost a lot of weight while he was away. And he was also making a banger of an album. That New Every Time I Die album is incredible. But anyway.
Yeah, he might be playing guitar for a little while.
No. Well, and I believe he had said publicly that, because did they fight Suzuki too? No, right? He only fought Ishii, because I think he said publicly that that was one of the guys he really wanted to, that was on a bucket list of his, he wanted to wrestle Ishii.
Yeah.
So for him to be in that match, that had to be surreal for him. He's like, oh man, I'm
and the exchanges they had were actually really freaking good. People were like, the thing that probably sums up Ishii the most was when Andy had him in the corner and Ishii looked like he was going down.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden he just stares it straight through your soul. And he's walking into your strikes. He's like, hit me harder. And you're just walking through him and puffing out his chest and all sorts.
Yep.
And then he just demolishes you from there. And that title that he had, he's held that a million times.
Is it the never open weight? That's what they call it?
Yeah.
Now,
I don't know if the match is it like a second? Is it
like a second? So it doesn't. Oh yeah, because they have heavyweights. They have the junior heavyweight. So they have divisions in New Japan.
Yes, but
anybody can challenge that one.
But Never has two titles. You got the Never Openweight, which Ishii has.
Okay.
Which he won from Jay White on Saturday, the same night as Full Gear.
Oh really? So he had just won that thing. So that's okay, cool.
He just beat Jay White. Yeah, that's why. As soon as OC said, "I'll bring one of my dogs with me," I knew exactly who it was because I knew he was in America.
He was in America
because he's not doing World Tag League or any of that. So,
Okada is in America too, and they've been mentioning his name a whole bunch the last few weeks on Dynamite. So
it would be a miss if they couldn't get him on one of their shows. It really would.
Yeah.
And then they've got the 6-man tag. But yeah, Never is basically just an open weight division.
Gotcha.
So Ishii could fight
anybody.
Hiromu Takahashi, a junior. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's basically, he's held the thing 10 times. I don't know whether the match is on YouTube, but if it is, or if you know someone with a New Japan World subscription, I implore you to find Ishii versus Shibata from Wrestle Kingdom 10 and come back and tell me you're not an Ishii fan.
Right. I'll add that to my list. I'll watch that stuff.
Brutal.
And Bobby, we will get to this match because it was the main event, but I agree with you. Regardless of your opinion of Jay Lethal, I did think it was a very, very good main event. But we will get to that when we get to the end of this show. Thank you for hopping in the chat. We appreciate you, my friend.
But in summary, it was a fun match. It was what it needed to be. The winner was obvious. Ishii getting the pinfall with his brainbuster was good.
Yeah. It was cool. And the brainbuster looked really good. I like that they gave him the pinfall.
Yeah.
The Hardy family, they tried to do a little bit of shenanigans. The bunny distracted the ref. There was some brass knuckles, but Rocky Romero was there to kind of ixnay that, which led to the victory for Ishii.
Yeah.
So,
and I think Ishii did well because, with the bunny interference and stuff like that, he'd be used to the male outside interference, but for the whole female getting on the apron type thing, they don't get that in New Japan.
Yeah.
But, he's such a professional that he sees it and he's like, hey.
Yeah.
So I think he played that well, but yeah, fun match. It was never dull.
No.
But yeah.
All right. And we then move on. We have Tony Schiavone in the back. He's interviewing Andrade El Idolo and FTR. Andrade says that he's a better wrestler than both Pac and Cody. FTR is upset, and they said, they were supposed to make history at Full Gear. And then they look at Andrade, and they said they'll waive their fee, and they will team up with him and Malachi to take on Cody, Pac, and the Lucha Brothers in an 8-man tag match. I believe we are getting that this week. I get the two shows mixed up all the time. Is that one on Rampage too, or is that a Dynamite one? That's a Dynamite one, right? Yeah. So we're getting that.
Open.
Yeah. So we're getting that this week on the Thanksgiving edition of Dynamite, which, it's an 8-man tag. There'll be a lot of guys on the ring, but it's going to be a good one with those 8 guys. It will be. It'll be a fun, exciting multi-man AEW match, which they are very, very good at. We then get some highlights of the Ty Conti Britt Baker DMD match from Full Gear. Shivani's backstage with his best friend Britt, Rebel, and Jamie Hayter. Britt, this was a shorter one, but Britt basically says that she's tired of carrying the women's division, and there's nobody that can basically beat her or live up to her standard, and she is the women's division. And then they started talking a little bit about the Thunder Rosa Jamie Hayter match, which is going to be this week as well, which is going to be good. That's going to be a good one. And then once again, as Britt Baker ends it and she does her DMD, Jamie Hayter goes, "No, I don't do that shit. I don't do that shit." She still hasn't done it. Oh man, tremendous. It's the little things like that it's like, okay, cool. Like she's never going to do it because at some point she's going to turn on her. And she's going to go, "I'm done with your shit. I'm done with your shit." And that's what's going to happen. Bobby, I believe so. Yes, I believe they did sign her before All Out because they did the Battle Royal. I believe they signed her on the Rampage in Chicago the night before, I want to say. That happened.
I don't think she signed.
Is she not signed?
Put her in the match.
Oh, did they just put her in? I thought they released the graphic.
Well, I don't think it's far off.
Yeah.
Is your cat trying to jump out the window again?
No, but so I have a bar. So I live on the top floor of an apartment building, and across the I could, if my window was open, I could easily almost touch the building. That's how close the building is. There's a bar, and on the top floor is their function hall, and there is a rager going on over there right now. There's a rager.
So what are you doing here?
I'm doing my duty. I'm doing my duty, and then I'm going to go crash it. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah. Duh. I'm a party animal, bro. I'll get after it. Yeah. Sorry. We then get the TBS Women's Tournament quarterfinals match, a match we've seen before, but I thought, again, another good match by these two women. It was Nyla Rose, obviously accompanied by Vicky Guerrero with Hikaru Shida. We did see Nyla Rose pick up the victory at the end of this match due to some outside interference by Serena Deeb, which I liked because a couple weeks ago, Deeb and Shida fought. It was an excellent women's match. It was the second really, really good match that they have had together, and people have been openly, myself included, pining for more of them two. I wanted Shida to win. I wanted Shida to win in advance, but I kind of knew Nyla was going to win because of how they lined up and who was going to be the person that's going to win the next match to go face that person. But at the same time, if it leads to Nyla advancing to most likely lose to Ruby Soho in the next round, and we get a Serena Deeb and Sheeta continuation, that's fine with me. That's more than fine with me.
Yeah.
I thought this match was good. These two girls have good chemistry. We've seen it a bunch. I think this is either their third or fourth match together. Might even be more than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I thought this was a really good match. Sheeta is so good. So good. I love the match. The only thing I don't like, and I know Sean Ross Sapp, our buddy over at the Fightful team, he harps on it. The flying knee from Nyla, it's a great move, but I really don't like how it's clear that the other wrestler is just holding themselves up on the rope. Like, I'll just wait here. I'll just wait here for you to end my life. So that's the only it's a nitpick, and I'm not as strong as other people. I've heard people go off about it, but at the same time, it's like, can we find a way where you can dangle there without just literally holding on to the rope, like where it's clear that like if you let go, you'd fall. You wouldn't be on there. Small thing, but I thought this match was really good. Nyla won. Yeah. Tell me what you thought.
It started slow. It
did. It did. It definitely
but it picked up in a hurry. That chair spot, Nyla destroyed the chair on the outside where she flipped and she landed on the chair.
Mm-hmm.
That thing just destroyed. That would have hurt too, like a son of a bitch.
Yep.
Perfect timing by Deeb out of commercial to take out Sheeta. That was really good. Match number 3 between those two is going to be really, really, really good. But yeah, Nyla winning for me was inevitable. This match went longer than I thought it was going to because of the injury angle that they played. Vicky got hers too.
Yep, which that was nice to see with Sheeta. The kendo stick. That was very good.
Yeah, that was good of Vicky to take that too. I like that. And I liked that Nyla won with something different. The standing stretch muffler. It looked really gnarly.
Yeah.
Considering Nyla is the bigger person in a lot of her matches, to do a move like that to someone like Sheeta, who is infinitely smaller, it just looks like she's throwing her around, and it looks amazing.
Yep, and it continues the knee issues that Sheeta got from Deeb from the match a couple weeks ago. That Deeb also, hit tonight.
Absolutely.
Hit in the match that we're talking about. So
so I'm glad that I hope she uses it more often going forward, because I think it's a good chink to her armor. But yeah, the match was really, really solid, and they got a good amount of time as well. They didn't rush it. So yeah, happy days.
Yeah, I agree. We then get we get one backstage vignette, Malachi Black doing his normal thing, and he's really just hyping up the 8-man tag that we're going to see this coming week, or next week technically, on AEW in Chicago. Nothing terribly stood out to me in this one. I don't know if you had anything.
What I'm getting from these?
Yeah.
I recently watched the Saw movies again.
Okay. And
listening to him talk about how, the air is toxic and this and that and blah, 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 it gives me a Jigsaw type vibe. Granted, he's not going to go around fucking killing people, but just the way he speaks and a calmness, he gets his really aggressive message across. It's, for me, it's top tier storytelling. It really is. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting past Black and Cody.
Yeah, the Cody stuff. Yeah.
And Black adding to the House of Black and really starting to cause some havoc.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, as you said, you mentioned it on the Lost show. Brody King, I think, is a perfect first addition.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a free agent with the Ring of Honor stuff. He is PWG Tag Team Champions with
Black.
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
Makes all of the sense. Yeah,
really if he's available. Why it's a perfect fit. It's a perfect fit to at least be the first person maybe he brings in. Like, hey, this is my friend, and Brody King is a big boy. He's a big boy.
Yeah,
that would be good. We did talk about her a little earlier, Bobby, but me and Matt both agree that she is a future AEW champion for sure.
Yep.
As far as that, she's still with the company. I see her around ringside from time to time. I don't know how often she's wrestling. I don't watch Dark and Elevation that often. I don't know if it's
She
on
doesn't
there.
wrestle. She does.
Okay.
She
She's
does,
more of a
yeah, she's got a
backstage.
backstage. She's got a backstage role now. She's
Yeah.
works with the, I think, setting up a lot of the or something for the women maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, she does a lot of backstage stuff. Like, have you ever watched any of the media scrums? She's always there, with a notepad in hand, sort of like a secretary type role, like minutes and stuff maybe. Yeah. But she does. Yeah, she still works there. She is a backstage employee now.
All right, rock and roll. Well, we then get MJF in the flesh. He comes out. He's about to cut a promo with Shawn Spears and Wardlow flanking him behind him as we normally see. He starts off by insulting the fans in attendance like he normally does, getting under their skin.
Yes.
And then he kind of goes into, he says one thing here. He says a lot of things, but he says one thing where he goes, I'm the guy that's going to start the biggest bidding war in professional wrestling in 2024. And he's been kind of open. He did an interview a little while ago, not too long ago, where he said, like, he put over someone mentioned Roman Reigns to him. He put over Roman Reigns. He said he would love to wrestle Roman Reigns in the future. He's never been one of these AEW guys that like talk shit about WWE. He's never, I feel like when he says something like that, like there's going to be a bidding war, like I feel like he's going to sit down at the table with WWE if WWE is there, which how the fuck can't you be when this guy's a free agent? Ideally, I would hope he would tell WWE like, no, I'm good. I'm going to stay here where they'll protect me and make me who I am, like make me what I am right now. And Lord knows, but yeah, he's going to make a lot. I mean, he's probably already making a good amount of money. Homeboy, when he has to resign, going to make a lot of money. Going to make a lot of money for a long time. That guy is going to be an all-timer. It's going to be an all-timer.
Question for you.
Yeah.
Question for you. It's 2021. He's talking about 2024.
Yeah. He's already going to be like a multi-time champ by then. Probably.
Yeah. He probably would have won both titles by then.
Yeah.
Is he already positioning himself to maybe sit down at the table with WWE at that time, only for him to turn around and go, you thought I was serious? What the fuck is wrong with you?
I think he's definitely positioning himself to sit at the table, and
he will use them for leverage and leverage.
100%. Tony, the Khans have more money than WWE. They got more money than Vince. So
it's not even for me. It's not even that. It's if we're at the end of 2021 and so look at what they've done.
Yeah.
A their booking is horrible. B, they treat their employees with discontempt. Why would anybody? And he's a smart man. He's not stupid.
Oh yeah.
Why would, unless it's the dream and you want it on your resume that you were once employed by them.
Yeah.
I can't see any reason why he would go there.
Yeah.
He gets treated like royalty now.
He's
lost 3 matches and they were all dubious.
Yeah. Did you happen to see what Tony Khan said about WWE? About like it was I feel like he was on Busted Open Radio Friday, so the day after this new batch of releases, and he talked about it a little bit. Did you see what he said? All right, hold on. Let me pull this up. Humor the people while I pull this up. Hold on.
Humor the people.
Well, I don't want to, yeah. I'm trying my best.
Gee whiz.
No, I read it earlier today.
No, I haven't. I've heard Tony speak.
Yeah, I mean, he said it. I watched an interview. He did like a 20-minute interview with Robbie Barstool on Barstool, and he openly on the interview was like, he openly in the interview goes, "Yeah, did you watch Raw on Monday? Show sucked." I was like, okay, all right, cool. Yeah, so he's
a fan as well at the end of the day. I think people forget
exactly. That fact. So yeah, he was on.
You would still watch them.
He was on Busted Open Radio on Friday, so the day after the latest batch of the WWE releases, All right, it's getting wild over there. The music just turned up a level. And they were discussing MJF's promo in AEW Dynamite, and Mark Henry asked him about the quote where MJF said the bidding war quote. And Tony Khan's, it's kind of a lengthy response, but Tony Khan said, "Yes, I knew he was going to say that. He's been saying it for a long time. I have no problem with it. I signed him to a 5-year contract 2 years ago. He's got 3 years left on it. I'm totally fine with it because, frankly, there may be a bidding war in 2024. I'm totally fine with that. But anybody who signs a contract there, meaning WWE, these days is not signing a real contract, in my opinion. It's a temporary arrangement. People who come wrestle with me," he goes, "people who come wrestle with me, a lot of these people are frankly lifers, and they know that. And there are some people who are here and work really hard, and there's some people here who come in and work more than really hard. Some people come in, and I feel like this is their actual life and will be with me for the rest of my life. And I don't know if everybody who works for my competition can say that. I think there are people who work there, and they aren't sure they will be there next week. So I just think there's a lot more security with the contract here. I can't say I'm going to extend every contract or bring every person back, but I also, he said, but also through the last couple years, we have not done mass layoffs, even though I'm not the most profitable company of all time. I don't brag about being the most profitable company of all time. I do brag about bringing in a lot of revenue for a startup and being a real success story. But what I will brag about is that we haven't been doing mass layoffs, and we haven't fired 15 people last week or 18 people the week before that. It's not anything to be proud of when a company lets all those people go. And when you're putting press releases out like that frequently, I don't think it's a good thing. And so to me, I don't want to make light of that kind of thing ever." And then he goes on, it's like literally like 3 more paragraphs. But yeah. So he came out
temporary
publicly.
Arrangement.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's what he said. That was the thing. That was the headline that I saw. And he basically, the one-liner that I saw that got me to read it was, it said the line where he said, "I think it's a long-term, you're signing an actual contract when you sign here." And then I read the whole thing, and that's what he said. "I don't think you're signing, that contract's not real. It's a temporary arrangement."
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where you talk about it like in 2024, you were talking about like we've seen them release talent after talent after talent after talent for a long time, 2 years almost now. And if you're a wrestler, and even if the dream is to go to WWE, which for a lot of these wrestlers, it probably is, because let's face it, like we all grew up watching WWE. Like WWE is maybe not for everybody, but I would say for a vast majority of wrestling fans, WWE is the reason why we all fell in love with wrestling. So if you're a wrestler and you're like, "Ooh, I'm a free agent. The dream of mine when I was a kid or when I started doing this was to eventually get to WWE." How confident do you feel knowing and seeing, like, for me, and I know I harp on the Keith Lee thing. Again, it's going down in Haverhill. It's going down.
Yeah, I can hear.
You hear this? It is going Saturday night. Saturday night, guys.
Crank it up.
Going down.
Off.
Still coming.
Fuck.
It's still coming, man. It's still coming. There's more. There's a brigade. This is a brigade out there. There they come. There they come again. You see it? You hear this? But anyway, if you're looking for security, you want to sign a long-term deal with a company where you're like, okay, not only do I want to be a star, but I want to have job security. They have proven that besides Roman Reigns, the 4 Horsewomen, and probably a handful of others, New Day, like, who truly has, like, would it shock you, besides those people that I just mentioned, would it shock you at all if we woke up tomorrow? I know it's in the morning where you are, but if we woke up tomorrow and we heard that any other talent on the roster was released, we'd be like, wow, okay. Like, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's a big gamble to do that when you know that they, at least what we've seen recently, they have a track record of, oh, well, we got nothing for you, so we're just going to hang on to you for as long as we can, and then we're just going to let you go. That's going to be it. And, it's I don't know, man. It's one of those things where if you're someone like an MJF who obviously now in promo and in canon and all this stuff, you come out and you say these things, I don't know how confident you can be that it's going to work out for you. You know what I mean?
They would try and script MJF. Could you imagine him with a script?
No, I don't think the MJF. Well, I mean, obviously he wouldn't be able to be called MJF. I
That
don't
in
think so,
itself
right?
is a reason not to go.
Yeah, right. I would think they'd be like, yeah, no, we don't want people thinking, oh, that's the dude from AEW.
No, they would, and they fucking trademark that shit.
Oh yeah. So if he left,
Because
he
they're
wouldn't be able to use it
assholes.
anymore. Yeah. And it's just one of those things where it's just like, But anyway, we got off track. So MJF comes out. He does the bidding war. He also says that he could take Adam Page's title at any time, and he deserves it, which isn't really a lie. And then MJF
Sorry,
says
just in other news, just before you go off,
Yeah.
do you know what MJF's actual middle name is?
Like actual? Like
Yeah.
not the character, like his real.
Yeah, his real middle name. Do you know
No,
what
I
it
don't.
is?
No.
Oh, I just looked it up because I was curious.
It's not Jacob? Are you telling me it's not Jacob?
No,
What is it?
it's Tyler.
But is Max Friedman his real name?
Maxwell Tyler Friedman.
Oh, so maybe he just thought Jacob sounded better, MJF, instead of MTF, I guess.
Yeah, it does sound better.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's the right call, I guess.
But could you imagine if he went somewhere else? They would trademark that shit in.
Immediately.
And then he would able to work anywhere else. It'd be horrible.
Yeah, immediately.
Brutal.
He's so good.
Anyway.
So then MJF says that nobody in that locker room is as good as him. And the second he said that, on my couch, out loud, I went, here comes Punk. And then we heard it. We heard the and we CM Punk. And I had messaged you when it happened because you said, "Oh, I'm starting to watch Dynamite a little bit later." I was like, "Who?" And it was right at that moment. And I was like, "Oh boy!" I was like, "You are gonna like this. You are gonna like this," because that immediately got me jacked up. I was like, "Oh God, yeah, here we go."
Yeah.
And the crowd lost their mind. They were like, "Oh God, MJF and Punk." All of Twitter, MJF and Punk.
Yeah.
MJF and Punk.
Yeah.
CM Punk comes out. The crowd is going bananas. He walks down to the ring. The crowd starts chanting "Holy shit" when they got in the ring together. MJF tells him to shut up. He does the heel thing, tells him to be quiet. MJF is looking at Punk like he's like confused, like why are you here?
How dare you?
Yeah, like how dare you come out here? Like what's wrong with you? But then he goes, he tells the crowd to shut up and he puts his hand out and he goes, Maxwell. And he goes for the handshake. And CM Punk just kind of stares at him. And then CM Punk just starts laughing in his face and leaves. And that's it. And then I love the one camera angle. They show MJF and he's looking at him. You can read his lips. He goes, "You fucking serious?" Mm-hmm. He's looking at his hand. He's looking at Punk. He goes, "You fucking serious? You blew me off like that?"
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. And CM Punk laughed his way up the ramp. And MJF looked puzzled and couldn't believe it was happening. And that was it. So no words spoken by either of them at each other, anything like that. Just a little tease of MJF and Punk. Man, oh man. Let me know how you're feeling. How excited are you for MJF and CM Punk?
Stoked.
It's gonna be so.
I cannot wait. I don't know when it's happening, but it's gonna happen. I'm just trying to find something that will. I don't know whether you saw this. I'm just trying to find it so I can show you.
Bobby, I agree. I think Jade Cargill, and we're going to talk about her a little bit when we get into Rampage before we get out of here. But I do agree. I think she is my pick to win the TBS championship as well.
Jade, yes.
Yes, I think
I don't believe she's ready, but
no, and that we will chat about that. We will chat about that.
So when Punk came out, did you notice the shirt he was wearing?
Oh, I actually didn't. I actually did not.
It was a Rancid, the band.
Yes. He's friends with those guys. I do know that.
Yep. And Out Come the Wolves was the album shirt he was wearing.
And Out Come the Wolves, huh?
Song number 1.
Maxwell. What is it? What does it say?
Maxwell Murder.
Oh, there you go. It's the little things, man. It's the little things. I didn't even know that. And now you say that, and I'm like, ooh.
I saw it last night at like 2 a.m. before I fell asleep. I was like, shit.
Yeah. You're like, man. It's just, it's small little things that it's just next level. It's next level stuff.
Oh, and that album was from 1995.
Was he even born yet? He wasn't even born yet. MJF wasn't even born yet.
A true Rancid fan would know that.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
But yeah. As soon as MJF came out, I had a feeling that what you were talking about was going to be Punk.
Yeah.
Punk coming out, not saying a word, just laughing at Max.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the theme where Punk's like, "You kidding me? You really?"
Yeah.
And then MJF's going to inevitably beat him, and Punk's going to be like, "Okay,
all right, you bastard, you got the best of me." Yeah, 100%. I agree.
MJF being Punk's first loss in AEW,
perfect,
needs to be the thing. It
100%.
Needs to be the way. Yeah.
100%. And we'll hear MJF talk about that for the rest of time, and then that'll be what it is, man. But yeah. Oh my God, it's gonna be so good. Just the promos for those two leading up to it. Oh my God, all day. All day, guys. All day.
So good.
We then cut out back. We get Darby Allin's about to cut a promo, and he is interrupted immediately by the Gun Club. And and Billy Gunn just challenges him to a match. And Darby Allin, being Darby Allin, his response is, "Screw it, let's do it." And that's it. We had that match on Rampage. We'll talk about that match. Kind of out of nowhere for me. Billy Gunn. I know the Gun Club is like undefeated almost in like every form. But yeah, it was kind of out of nowhere. And when they announced the match, or when this happened, I was like, all right, yeah, cool, whatever. Billy Gunn, one match, whatever, ain't gonna hurt anybody. Blah blah. It was out of place, but I was like, all right, Billy Gunn versus Darby, that's weird, but all right, cool. And then we had the match, which we'll talk about, and I was like, oh, okay, well, that was okay. But yeah.
I thought it was funny because Darby's this serious, brooding character.
Mm-hmm.
Billy comes over, challenges him. Colton says something, and then Austin makes this really weird, obnoxious noise and then walks off. And Darby just starts giggling to himself and then just goes, screw it. Let's do it. And then just walks off giggling. And I'm like,
yeah.
It's just real because it could be as serious as you like. At the end of the day, if something's funny, it's funny.
Yeah.
So he just starts giggling and then just goes, screw it, whatever. To me, this was harmless fun. The match, we'll talk about the match, but yeah, cool.
All right. We then come back from the break and we have the Super Click in the back, and they say that they were embarrassed. Adam Cole says that the Young Bucks are not cleared. And then he announces that on Rampage, he's going to team up with one of his best friends, Bobby Fish. And Fish is also there with them. And Fish says that they're going to take care of Jurassic Express. And and this part made me laugh my ass off. He goes, "Oh, we're going to fight on Rampage, and we're going to take care of you." And and you could tell he was going to do the undisputed thing. And the Young Bucks are like, no,
you can't say that here.
You can't say that here. Oh, see, now this is.
I know a lot of people like.
Yes, I know a lot of people complain that they take too many shots. I'm a proponent of it all. That doesn't bother me, but I can understand the complaints from time to time. This type of stuff, hilarious. I was laughing my ass off. He was going for no, you can't do that here. That's not here. We don't do that here. Wonderful. That was a wonderful thing.
And we'll talk about it when we get to Rampage. But you know where I reckon we're headed with all this?
You think we're getting a reunion?
I reckon we're headed toward Young Bucks versus Red Dragon.
Oh, you think so? Yeah, because O'Reilly, he's up in January, December, or something like that? That'd be good. That'd be good. I'd be okay with that.
I've seen their matches in New Japan, and I'll say it again.
Bobby, I believe Darby Allin came out publicly yesterday and said that he wants Bryan Danielson. He wants to fight Bryan Danielson. So I hope that is a match.
So you know what that means? one top AEW talent says he wants something, you know what that means?
He's gonna get it.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Yeah. Tony's like, yeah, okay,
Cool.
And you can't tell me Brian would want to wrestle him.
Oh, of course he would. Of course he would. We then get what I thought was a fantastic tag match between the Acclaimed
Yes.
and Dante Martin and Lio Rush. I believe this was Lio Rush's first official match back since returning or coming back, right?
No.
What?
No.
Is this a
They
rematch?
had a tag match 2 weeks ago.
No, I thought. Oh, that's right. No, that was against Seidel and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, last week they had a tag match, and then he missed Rampage
wasn't
and
it?
Fugi because
Yeah, I knew he missed.
Leo,
Because of his grandmother.
his grandmother.
Oh, God.
But yeah, no, they wrestled Seidel and Moriarty
That's
last
right.
week.
All right, that's right. My memory is trash. Don't mind me.
Just like the main event segment before on Rampage. That's new.
Yeah, it is new.
It's new.
Yeah.
It's so new the crowd chants along with Henry. That's how new it is.
Oh, man. The Acclaim comes to the ring. Caster's doing his thing. He's rapping. And before he can even finish the rap, they get hit by Dante Martin diving out there, which I thought was a nice little twist on that stuff. Then the match begins, and Dante Martin is just doing Dante Martin things, man. He was amazing, as he's basically amazing every time we see him. Lio Rush, I thought, was real good in this match because Lio Rush is real good. The way that he can quick stop and kind of, he goes, he just kind of cuts and stuff like that. It's so unique. You don't see it by anybody but him, and he's so quick, and it's just a very cool thing to see the way he does that.
It looks like it should destroy his knees every time he does it.
Yes, it looks like his knees should just keep going straight, and he's going this way. Pluggo, shut your mouth. How about that? Shut your mouth. Had a lot of fun in my 20s. All right, I killed a lot of brain cells. Don't judge me.
Who's that?
It's Pluggo.
Fuck that guy.
No, I'm just kidding, Pluggo. I love you. But seriously, cut it out. Oh God, sorry that
Christmas
I can't remember.
Tree, my Christmas tree.
Yeah. I'll let you dive some more into the match. Man, I thought it was good. I think the Acclaimed, I understand why some people don't dig the rapping and stuff like that, but I think when it comes down to it, they're a good team. I really like Anthony Bowens. I really like Anthony Bowens.
You stole my notes again.
Oh, sorry, bud. I'm going to let you go, though. But I thought, first and foremost, this match was really good. Dante Martin and Lio Rush did get the victory.
Yes.
And we can kind of talk about what happened after, but I'll let you kind of go. Tell me what you liked or what, if you didn't like anything about this match.
I liked all of it, man. I thought it was really solid. As you just said, I'm not a huge fan of Max's raps and whatnot. He has some witty one-liners and whatnot, especially when he called Dante and Leo virgins, and Leo turns around and says, "I've got 3 kids, man."
He's like, I got 3 kids. Bro. I got 3 kids.
Which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah, it was very good.
Yeah, but the match itself was really, really fun, really enjoyable to watch. Leo looks to be really enjoying himself, and I hope it stays that way.
Yeah.
Because when he was in NXT and Cruiserweight Champ and having matches with Angel Garza, those matches were fire, and he was enjoying the hell out of himself. And that's seemingly what he's doing here. He looks to be having fun, especially doing stuff with Dante. His performances show that he's having fun. Some of the stuff he can do in that ring is just ungodly. Same with Dante. And as a team, I think they are fitting really, really well. I'm really enjoying the team. And yeah, this match was great. Anthony Bowens is a standout. He's got the look. He's got the abilities with the stick in hand. He just looks like a star to me. And I think that he will be. I don't know how old he is.
I don't think he's terribly old.
He doesn't look very old.
No. But
he was born in 1990. So what's that make?
All right, so I was 85.
31?
So he's 31. Yeah, so he's got plenty of time left.
Plenty of years.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed this match. I thought it was really fun.
I agree. I thought it was very, very good. And yes, I like the Acclaimed as a team. But for me, since day one, like I know Caster he does the rap. So like most of the time we talk about the Acclaimed, it is talking about that rap. But to me, Bowens has always been the standout of that team. I know he was hurt for a good chunk there. So it was just kind of Caster doing his own thing. And I love, even when he grabs the mic, I love it. How he just screams, "Hey, W, we have arrived," and all that. Like yeah, man, he's good. He's real good.
Yeah.
Real good.
And he also won Twitter last week.
I missed it. What did he do?
Dub.
I missed it.
Dude.
I didn't see it.
I think they wrestled on Rampage, and someone put on Twitter, the Acclaim look like the people that don't buy their girls tampons at the store.
Oh, so and he said, "Well, I'm gay."
He tweets it and just says, "I'm gay."
I'm gay. Yeah.
Oh man,
tremendous.
That's a massive dub. Huge.
Tremendous.
But if you watch any of his like him and his partner have a YouTube channel, and
funny, is it like entertaining?
Yeah, it's funny. It's like I watched one yesterday. They were just staying at like this Airbnb, and Anthony's partner Michael was like trying to cook like chicken and stuff on the thinger, and it's just smoking everywhere, and Anthony's standing there with a towel trying to blow the smoke away from the thinger, and then it stops, and then he's like going he's like blowing up. I'm like, come on, man, you wrestle matches and you're like blowing up. And he's laying on the couch. His partner's just like whacking him. He's like, "I've been in the kitchen. Like, get up." And he's like, "Come on, man, this is assault." And it's just funny. He's a funny guy. He's a funny guy. He's very relatable. But yeah, he's got he's got the look, just the way he's aesthetically. He's visually a guy that you would think star. Like he's got the muscles. He's jacked. Yeah, he's a star. All four of these guys in this match are stars, to be honest.
I agree. All right. We then get a promo backstage with Christian Cage and Jurassic Express. Jurassic Express basically, or Jungle Boy, I should say. Basically, he accepts Adam Cole and Bobby Fish's challenge. And Christian Cage basically says, "Hey, Bucks, I know you'll probably be there at ringside. So I know you'll be bringing your friends." And then we see the steel chair and he goes, "I'll bring one of mine too, just in case." Short, sweet, accepts the challenge that we're going to see and talk about on Rampage. We then get a Lucha Bros promo, a typical Lucha Bros promo where, they're just talking up the 8-man tag match next week, and they're talking about how they're going to win it because they're the best tag team in the world. Yeah, nothing out of the ordinary in these promos, nothing that stood out for either one of them. For me, they were just standard fare, what you expect with these short, sweet, promoting future matches.
You know what I do enjoy?
Yeah.
Jungle Boy, just about in every promo now, says the word shit.
Yes. Yes.
That's creeping into the vocab of the Jungle Boy.
Yes, it is. And our friend Bobby says, "I would like to see Anthony Bowens have more singles matches." I agree. And I think that will happen down the line. Right now, obviously, clearly the tag team's the focus. I do think the Acclaimed, depending on how long they're together, I wouldn't mind them. There's other teams I want to get there first, but I wouldn't mind them getting a run, maybe a tag title opportunity at least, maybe even hold the belt. Yeah, maybe even hold the belts for a little bit, though. That would be nice, just to kind of solidify their tag team. But I think Anthony Bowens is a future. It's going down again. Yeah. I think Anthony Bowens is 100% a future single star in AEW for sure. We got our friend Dane popping in there saying, yo, thanks for hopping in, man. Appreciate you. We're about to finish up, talk about the main event of Dynamite, and then we're going to talk a little bit about Rampage, and then it'll be our time to get the heck out of here. But let's talk about this main event. This was a damn good main event. This was a damn good main event.
I sold me a ticket, that's for sure.
Ooh, boy. Sammy Guevara, the champion, was challenged by the debuting Sammy Guevara. He was challenged by the debuting Jay Lethal on Full Gear. I know people have mixed opinions about Jay Lethal because of some story, like some stuff that came out, not ideal. But if we're looking at
We're
it
here
objectively,
we are here to talk about just in
yes,
ring.
we're gonna look at it objectively. And Jay Lethal had himself a damn good match with Sammy
Yes.
Guevara. This was an excellent main event. Before the match, they showed Tony Nese watching from ringside, so I'm assuming that Tony Nese is going to be somewhere in the challengers shortly for Sammy Guevara and the TNT title, which will be another good match because Tony Nese is good.
Yes.
I'll let you lead. Tell me the standout stuff from this. Then there was a lot. I thought this match was real good. Good Lord. Especially the end, the ending sequence and just everything that led up to it. They were kicking out of everything. There was all sorts of stuff going on. And man, I've seen, I'm not an avid Ring of Honor guy, but I go to all the shows. I've seen Jay Lethal live a lot. I've seen Jay Lethal back, obviously, when he was in TNA. He's been around for a long time.
20 years, I said.
Yeah. This was easily the best Jay Lethal match I've ever seen. In my opinion. I'm sure he's had other standouts, but for me, not seeing a ton of his work, this was easily the best match I've ever seen him participate in. I'll let you go, man. Like, tell me about this main event. Tell me what you thought of it and the standout stuff that happened.
Yeah, make no mistake, Jay Lethal, as a competitor, is one of the greatest Ring of Honor champions in that company's history. He held the title for like 12, 13 months. And I don't think he ever got pinned for it. I think he lost it in a ladder match at Madison Square. Yeah. The House of Truth stuff that he did in ROH, all that stuff was quality. As I said, Nese observing the match. Yes, please. Let's do all of that. But the match itself, I legitimately thought Sammy was injured. So Sammy selling to me stood out. Like, he's like, oh, fuck, I think it's broken. Oh, he's laying there, like, smacking the mat and rolling over, going, and Jay Lethal, equal part, was just like, come on, no, my debut, this can't be happening, rah, rah, rah. And then, it proceeded from there. But Sammy selling to me is what stood out. But yeah, this was an excellent match. Jay was really good. Sammy.
Excellent, man. So good.
From the top rope to the table, did a senton.
Yeah.
Really? What's wrong with that guy?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. It was at that point, I'm like, okay. I get it now. Right.
You're like, okay, yeah, this is going
on. Yeah. Up until that, I was like, he's probably not broken ribs because you wouldn't be wrestling with broken ribs, but I thought he might have a cracked rib. And then he did that. I'm like, okay, he's working. Righto. But yeah, it was an excellent, excellent main event. Right man won. I'm not a huge fan of Lethal losing his opening, but he's been when you break out down into the nuts and bolts, and if he's been around 20 years, he doesn't need to win.
So did you think at any point, either before the match or during the match, that Lethal potentially could win in his debut and like take the title from Sammy?
No.
So you thought it was Sammy all the way, no matter what?
Yes. Yes. I was unsure what was potentially going to happen if Sammy's injury was legit. I don't know what they would have done there. They might have called an audible and had Lethal win then. But obviously it wasn't. And they did what they did. But yeah, this was a fantastic TV match.
Yeah, it was so good. Sammy obviously won with the GTH, but like the ending sequence where Lethal went for the dragon suplex and Guevara kind of flipped and landed on his feet. And then he hit some devastating knees to get into the GTH. And then obviously Inner Circle comes down to kind of congratulate Sammy, and Sammy and Jay Lethal, they have the handshake in the ring, kind of putting Lethal over. And then Inner Circle, specifically Jericho, is the one that lifts Lethal and Sammy's hands, and Inner Circle is celebrating in the ring as they go off the air with Jay Lethal.
Yep.
Like you said, Sammy's selling and all that stuff. Like, they made Lethal look like $1 million.
Yeah.
And for someone that, they debuted at Full Gear, he was the only surprise that way of the show. and to have him have a title match in his first match and main event Dynamite in his first match and have that quality of a match, you can obviously tell that he's going to be a primetime player.
Shows you what they've got.
Yes, immediately. Bobby, I believe at some point we will see the Briscoes show up on AEW.
I believe they were backstage.
They were backstage. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful did report that they were backstage. I don't know if they were just there to see their I'm assuming maybe their friend Lethal in the main event and just visiting other friends. I don't know, but that report did come out before Dynamite.
I wouldn't mind some sort of a Ring of Honor faction.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. A stable, yeah, that'd be nice. You could do that if you brought in a bunch of Ring of Honor talent, like 4 or 5 or 6 of them, and you had them be their own stable, where they were like, yeah, you all know where we're from. We're here now, and we're taking over, or we're not taking over, but like we're gonna fuck shit up. That's what we're doing. That would be great. That'd be amazing.
Yep.
So good. But that was Dynamite.
And that goes back. And that goes back to not insulting your audience intelligence. They would openly say,
where are these guys from?
They would openly say, we know you're Ring of Honor guys.
Oh yeah.
You want to mix it up? All right, let's do it.
Yeah. I think the closest thing that WWE had come to that is when they signed like Nakamura, AJ, and the Good Brothers, like because they knew when AJ came, they were like, everyone's gonna know who the hell this guy is, and Nakamura, everyone's gonna know who these people are. So I feel like that was the closest that WWE ever came. They never would say another company's name on the air, but they at least acknowledged.
Even Nakamura's and AJ's case,
no,
I think when they showed promo videos, I think they used New Japan footage.
Yeah, and they use Ring of Honor footage before, and they'll say courtesy of Ring of Honor Wrestling and stuff like that. And I think they might have mentioned New Japan here or there because they used to have a working relationship back in the day with each other. I think it's really the American. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know. It's the American companies that Vince is like, we're not talking about any of those. That we're the only company that matters around here. You know what I mean? Bobby, this could work into the Shane Taylor group. That would be really good. I would love to see Shane Taylor be part of the Ring of Honor whatever, you know?
Bobby was picking up what I was putting down.
There you go.
Where I'm headed with that.
There you go.
Shane Taylor Promotions. Yes, please.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be very good. Jonathan Gresham, I know in the chat earlier, he mentioned as well. Yeah, all of them.
He's going to be the last Ring of Honor champion, and it's so good.
Yeah, it is. And then he also announced that he's doing like his own wrestling event or wrestling terminus. I think it's like a grappling.
Yeah, terminus or something like that. Yeah, I think it's like a pure rules grappling.
Pure rules grappling tournament. So, you know.
Look, pure wrestling, like Gresham does, like Zack Sabre Jr. does. It's not for everyone, but when you get true masters of their craft, boy, oh boy, is it good.
And so I'm going to ask, and I'm probably going to sound ignorant in it, but like, is that different than Catch as Catch Can? Are they similar? Are they different?
Yeah, very similar.
Okay.
You probably put them in the same category.
Okay. I just want to, because, I hear pure wrestling. I'm thinking holds, submissions, grappling.
Yeah, that's just what Ring of Honor call it. They call it the pure division. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. But it's just that type of style, at least for the most part. Okay.
Yeah, wrestling holds, transitions, all that stuff.
Cool. All right. So, yeah, that was it for Dynamite. I thought
you would love to have seen Kurt Angle in his prime wrestle.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. That's a good way to put it. That ends Dynamite. I thought it was a really good Dynamite. Oh.
Chad Gable
I love Chad Gable. I love Chad Gable. Man. He is. Again, I don't want to bring him up again, but not this past Monday, but the previous 2 Mondays, he had some good matches back to back. He fought Finn Balor, which was excellent, and then he fought Big E, which was also very good. Dude, Chad Gable's good, man. Chad Gable's good. He's underutilized.
They have a second incarnation of Kurt Angle on their roster, and they've butchered him.
Yeah. But when you give him time to go, like that crowd was rooting for him against Finn Balor. Like they were rooting for both, but like when Gable was hitting his shit, that crowd was in it.
My favorite storyline of his ever was when he was trying to get Jordan to make him his partner, and Jason.
Oh my God, yeah, and he would show up with the
not having it.
Yep,
not having it, and then he finally did, and they won the match.
Yeah,
that's the best thing ever. The first
takeover I ever went to, It was part of a WrestleMania weekend trip. It was the one in Dallas where they beat the Revival for the titles to open the show.
That match
One of the
slapped.
best tag match I've ever seen live in my life.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
they had the Nakamura Sami Zayn match, which at the time was like, this is one of the best matches I've ever seen in my life, period.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that tag match, nobody talks about, they talk about the FTR DIY stuff as they should, obviously. Nobody really talks about American Alpha was fucking good. They were good. Real good tag team. And it's a shame what happened to Jason Jordan. But they broke him up before that kind of. Yeah, they broke him up. Yeah, and I love the stuff that he was doing with Rollins too, even though it was kind of like out of nowhere. The stuff he was doing with Rollins before everything kind of went down with his injuries, both those guys, real good.
I'm glad they found a spot for him though, because he's very smart. He gets it.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're getting off track.
Yeah, I know. Going everywhere today. But it's all right. Let's talk about Rampage.
You know why? Because I don't want to talk about the next match.
Well, I was going to say Rampage, and you messaged me. You were like, "Did you watch Rampage?" I was like, "Yeah," and you were like, "All right, I'm watching it now." And I was kind of like, "Yeah, not that good." Like, I think it was probably the worst one they've had since the show debuted. I think, not that good. Whatever. You're gonna miss sometimes. It's fine.
Full disclosure for people watching. It's
yeah, I was not a huge, nothing really captivated me either. But so show opens up. We got Darby Allin with Sting at ringside versus Billy Gunn with the Gun Club. Obviously his two sons, Colton and Austin. This was not I guess it makes sense. Billy Gunn being at his age and stuff like that. You're not going to expect him to keep up with Darby Allin.
He's still ripped, by the way.
Oh my God, he's huge. This was a different match than I was expecting.
I think it was Taz. And I like that Taz said that Billy is from a different era where it was all about body and power. I like that they worked that into it.
Yeah. And he was just he's like a foot taller than Darby. He looked like a giant in that ring.
Him.
Yeah, he looked like a giant.
It was like Andre versus someone else.
Yeah, so I guess it somewhat makes a little bit of sense of how the match played out, because it was clear. When they got in the ring together, it was like, holy crap. Billy Gunn, I don't care that he's 30 years older than the guy. He literally is 3 times the size of him.
I think we forget how big Billy actually is.
No, Billy's huge, man. Billy's a big guy. He's like 6'6", 6'7", just ripped to shreds. Yeah. So this match was a lot of Billy Gunn literally just throwing Darby around outside the ring, inside the ring, giving Sting some shit while he was outside the ring. His kids were giving Sting some shit. But it was a very slow paced, very just Billy kind of having his way with Darby a little bit.
It was very slow.
It was really slow, really slow.
Darby got, I think, 3 bits of offense in, 4 maybe.
Yeah. And, Billy Gunn really dominated this match. They come back from a picture-in-picture. And Darby Allin, the only way he can kind of get advantage is he begins biting. He bites him. And then he also hits Colton and Austin with the coffin drop. Was it to the outside? No, the casket drop, they call it, to the outside. And then Darby Allin back to back with Billy, which is another thing. And I saw this and I wanted to ask you. It took 2 coffin drops to beat Billy Gunn. Now, I don't like it either. When you look at the way the match went, he really had no offense before that. So I don't know if that's why they did it. Because literally I felt like the first coffin drop was the first real move that Darby actually hit on Billy. Yeah. The one thing I didn't like, though, was how he kicked out at 0.
He kicked out nearly not even one.
Yeah. So I don't mind the 2 coffin drops, but why can't you just do the 2 coffin drops back to back and then pin them? Yeah. Why did he have to? I didn't like how he kicked out at 0. Billy Gunn's going to kick out of that. He's beat some and this is, Billy Gunn, been wrestling forever, part of DX, Hall of Famer. I get it. But this incarnation of Billy Gunn, that shouldn't be the guy that kicks out of the fucking coffin drop at 0. Leave that for me.
Darby should have hit it,
or leave that for
looked at him
someone,
and be
you know?
like, "Yeah, he's not done yet. Go
He's
back
not
up,
done
hit
yet.
another
Yeah,
one, pin him."
exactly. Like I don't think the pin needed to happen. But regardless of that,
Have Billy kick out just after 3 like Hogan used to have to do. I don't
Yeah.
care.
yeah.
But no, this match, it sucked.
Yeah, it was not for me. It was not for me.
No.
After the match, Colton.
What I'll tell you one thing I did like.
Yes.
Billy just sidestepping Darby
Yes.
as he went for a suicider. My
Yeah.
God, he killed that freaking railing.
Oh my God.
And Billy's
brutal.
like,
yeah, and he's just kind of
just
laughing.
sidestepped him.
Kinda
Just
goes,
like,
yeah. I've been doing this for 30 years, kid. I've been doing this for 30 years.
I can imagine this. I can imagine the chat backstage. Billy's like, "Oh, you want to do that? Yeah, I'm not taking it.
Yeah.
You want to do it? Cool, but the railing's taking it. I'm not taking it.
I'm too old.
Oh, okay.
I'll either walk away and hit the railing, or maybe like I'll walk away and hit my kids with it. I'm not doing it. I'm too old for that shit.
Yeah, and Colton and Austin be like, "What?"
Yeah. Huh? God, Dad, whatever.
But no, this match wasn't for me either.
No, yeah, I did not like it. It was too slow for me. Did not like it. And like I said, when they cut the promo, even though it was so out of the blue on Dynamite, I was kind of like, all right, that might be fun. And it just the way the match, it wasn't. No. I enjoyed what happened after the match way more than what happened in the match.
I didn't, and I'll tell you why.
All right. You want me to
Because
say what happens first, or you want to go?
Go.
All right. So after the match, Colton and Austin attack Sting. Sting chases after them, takes them both out, clotheslines them out of the ring. But then Billy Gunn takes Sting's leg out, and it continues to attack him. And the Gun Club stood tall. They stood tall over Darby and Sting. I'm assuming we're going to have some sort of a tag team match. Maybe, I don't know if it'll be the Sons, maybe, versus Darby and Sting, and Billy will kind of be the manager for this one, or it could be 3-on-2, or Billy and one of the kids. Maybe Sting and Darby find a tag partner. Who knows? But it seems like we're going in that direction.
This is why I didn't like it.
Oh, because you didn't want this to get. You wanted this to be one and done.
Yes.
One and done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fair.
I don't need nor want. Look, I get the Gun Club are undefeated in tag and trios and yada yada yada. But yeah, I don't need to see Sting and Darby against the Guns.
Yeah. We then get a couple. I agree with you, by the way. Yeah, I don't need to see it either. But we get a couple promos back to back. We get Tony Schiavone out back with QT Marshall, and we find out that QT Marshall challenges CM Punk to a match. He says he wants to embarrass him in his hometown of Chicago. Challenges it to a match. He starts insulting Punk a little bit. I'm going to be honest with you. I tuned out about halfway through this because every promo from QT Marshall seems the same to me. So I don't know if you have anything to add about this, but he basically challenged Punk, insulted him a few times, said Wednesday night on Dynamite in your hometown, I'm going to beat you, which he's clearly not. Yeah, that was it. And then we came back from commercial. We got a couple more promos. We got one from Inner Circle and Men of the Year. Nothing stood out to me about either of these either, with the exception of how Men of the Year said that they're going to continue feuding with the Inner Circle, which is not what I want. I don't want that to happen. No. I want them to go do different things.
FYI, we'll probably get a run in a minute because my son's home.
Oh, God. All right. We got to hustle out of here? You want to hustle out of here?
Huh?
It's been 2 hours.
We'll be finished. We'll be finished in like 10 minutes anyway.
That's what I was going to say. All right. So then, and I feel like this is what we're going to probably talk about the most, even more than the main event, but we do get the TBS Women's Title Tournament quarterfinal match between Jade Cargill, obviously with Smart Mark Sterling, versus Red Velvet. Jade Cargill did get the win, like we would assume. A lot of us, I know you and I for sure, she's going to win that title, we believe. However, I did not think this match was good.
No.
This match
did not.
This match for me made me question, and I know you said it earlier, and I know other people said it too. It's not like we created the idea or the opinion, but this made me question if she's ready for that title. Now, I know it's not going to be crowned until a couple months still, January or whatever, next year. Yeah. I get it. And she looks the part. She talks the part. And she's not She's not bad in the ring by any means, but she's clearly still learning, clearly still green. I just hope they're not rushing it. I don't want this to end up being a rush job to the point where it ruins her.
Yeah, it feels a
And
little forced.
I watched that match, and Red Velvet has had some good matches. Red Velvet can go.
Yeah.
And I watched that match, and I was like, that does not look like a performer who is ready for the spotlight that we are all thinking she's going to get.
Correct.
And that's how I felt. Round 3, baby. Round 3. I'll let you kind of take it from there. I know you agree, but if you had to add anything. But, yeah, this match, again, was not that good. I knew who was going to win. I think we all did, but it was clunky. A lot of waiting for spots, couple botch spots. I did think the fall away slam where she stood on her feet for the most part and kind of fell forward was very impressive. The crowd gave her a good ovation for that because that's an impressive mood. But like Bobby says, Jade Cargill needs a lot more experience.
Agreed.
Yeah. So tell me what you're thinking about this match and just kind of where Jade's at.
Yeah, look, it wasn't overly great. It was, it was a match that had to happen because it's the way the bracket, sort of panned out. Cargill was always going to win. Velvet was never winning, as much as they tried to make you believe otherwise. But yeah, Jade, while she is good and she's getting better, she's not ready to carry a title, especially be the first champion.
Yeah.
In a tournament that's got Rosa, Ruby, Statlander, Nyla still left. Yeah.
When you think of the other when you think of the other 4 women that are still left in the tournament, which you just said, Statlander, Ruby Soho, Nyla Rose. No, 5 women technically. Thunder Rosa and Jamie Hayter.
Yeah.
Those women are leaps and bounds.
I would honestly put all of them ahead of Cargill.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
All of them. So.
And we all know that Cargill is going to win this. I mean, I'm not going to say anything's guaranteed, but when the whole thing started, everyone was like, oh, that's going to be Jade Cargill. 100%.
I'd be shocked if she didn't at this point.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you see matches like that. It just gives you not concern, but it just is like, I hope it's not, like you said, I hope they're not just forcing it just to force it. Like, we all know she's going to be a star. She is a star. But the in-ring needs to be there too, especially in AEW. Because in AEW, the in-ring matters too, And
Absolutely.
I don't want it to be not go as high as it should because they're rushing,
That's it. So
after the match, Thunder Rosa cuts a quick promo calling out Jamie Hayter and basically says that she's going to beat Jamie Hayter on next week's Dynamite. And then she ferociously yelled some stuff in Spanish. I didn't know.
Must have been a swear word in there because there was a beep.
Yeah, they beeped. There was a beep. So it was a Spanish-speaking swear. I bet you it was. No, it wasn't shit because they wouldn't beep out shit. So it must have been a real bad one. A real bad one. Thunder Rosa, potty mouth. We then have Tony Schiavone interviewing CM Punk. CM Punk accepts QT Marshall's challenge for Wednesday. So like you said, we're going to see both Chicago boys wrestling on Dynamite. Colt Cabana is going to get this shit kicked in by Bryan Danielson.
Yes,
and
sir.
CM Punk is going to kick QT Marshall's shit in.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We then get an announcement that on December 15th, taking place in Garland, Texas, AEW is going to have a special event called Winter is Coming. So kind of like a winter-esque theme show right before the week before Christmas or whatnot. So I'm sure they'll have some big matches. Did they do Winter is Coming? Was called Winter is Coming last year too?
It's when Sting debuted. Yep.
Oh yeah, that's right.
When Kenny beat Mox. Yep.
You don't think it's too soon, right? So what do you think?
Oh,
when do you think we get Danielson and Hangman? You think they push it all? They're not going to push it all the way to Revolution. You think maybe the first show on TBS?
I was going to say maybe Jan 2nd.
Yeah. Yeah, that would
But in
make
saying
sense.
that, I'd probably have the women's title tournament main event. That show.
Well, that's
so.
what I'm going to say, right? If they're going to crown the TBS, that should be the main event, right? On
Yeah, I
TBS.
don't. Yeah, I don't know. Well, how many Dark Order members are there? So maybe they could push it to Revolution.
Yeah, because he already took out Uno. You got Cabana, you got Reynolds, you got John Silva, you got 10.
Reynolds. You already said Reynolds.
Yeah.
No, maybe. Yeah,
Alan
they could drag
Angels.
it out.
You know
They
what
could
I want
drag
to
it
see?
out.
They're not going to fight, but you know what I want to see? I want to see Danielson talking shit to -1. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. Like after he runs through him, he starts talking shit to -1, and that's when Hangman's like, "No, we're fighting next week, bro. You don't talk like that."
I want to see Anna Jay get in his face.
Yeah, do it. All of a sudden, he puts the yes lock on her and shit. Oh, take it. Just go all the way. Go all the way with it. Fuck it. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So then we do have the pre-show interview with they do this every week with Mark Henry when he promotes the main event.
Yes.
And it was the Jurassic Express and the Super Click. More importantly, Adam Cole and Bobby Fish. Anything of this promo stick out to you? I know Jungle Boy cut a pretty decent one, but nothing really stuck out. But it was just standard fare promoting the match. We then got the match, which I thought the match was really pretty good.
One thing I did like, actually, JB saying the first Bobby Fish match he saw was when he beat him. That was fun.
Yes. Yeah. And the crowd, you could hear they were like, oh, God. And you saw Bobby Fish, he was like, fuck you, buddy. Yeah. He had that face like, motherfucker. You didn't have to say that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, that was a good line. Yeah, the first Bobby Fish match I ever saw was when I beat you last week. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, rock and roll.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. So this match, I'm not going to sit here and say it was like super great or anything like crazy, but I thought it was solid. I thought it was the best match on the show. That's not saying much because the show wasn't really that great. Jurassic Express did pick up the victory with Jungle Boy locking Bobby Fish in the snare trap. But I think somewhat of the bigger story was Adam Cole kind of left Bobby Fish to take it at the end there. He said, I was going to say, that's not the first time. That is the second time now that he's kind of left Bobby Fish high and dry. Maybe leading to an eventually Bobby Fish one-on-one match with Adam Cole. Maybe Bobby Fish going, hey man, I know we're friends, but what the hell, bro? I'll let you take it as we get out of here. What'd you think of the main event tag match? Again, I thought it was solid, nothing special, but solid. But compared to what we saw the rest of the show, I thought it was easily the standout of the show.
Yeah.
But I'll let you
It was a fun way. It was a fun match to end a disappointing show, put it that way. Like nothing in the match. It's anything you're going to remember in a couple of days' time. But yeah, the stuff with Christian chasing the Bucks around ringside was a bit stupid, but there's a bit WWE of it. But anyway, Cole running out on Fish for the second time, leaving him high and dry. That's the story. That's the story here. It's heading somewhere. I don't have any doubts about that. Where it's heading, I don't know. I'd like to think, as I said earlier, we're heading towards Bucks versus Red Dragon when Kyle's free.
Yeah.
But that's just wishful thinking, fantasy booking, yada, yada, yada. So we'll see. But yeah, they're definitely planting some seeds there in some way, shape, or form.
And that was it. That was Rampage. Not that great of a show. I think it was probably the worst Rampage since the show debuted.
Easily.
Yeah. But they had 3 shows this week, and 2 out of 3 ain't bad, man. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I'll take it. And so, but yeah, we had an extra super long episode today. We're talking about Full Gear and all stuff like that. So I want to thank everybody in the chat for hanging in there. Thank you for all your participation as usual. Matt and I will be back next Saturday for another edition of the Weekend Elite Report. You have anything else coming up at all? Or you just sticking with the Elite Report for now?
For now.
Yeah.
Probably till Christmas.
All right. Rock and roll. On Love Wrestling tomorrow, we will have a POS show due to Survivor Series being tomorrow night. I don't know. I think we are potentially doing a Survivor Series reaction afterwards. I do not know if that's officially happening, but we will have a POS show tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern time.
If there's a Survivor Series reaction show, do you know who won't be on it?
You're not watching it?
Me, because I ain't watching that trash.
I'm going to watch it because I love it. I'm just gonna watch it, but there's nothing.
It's actually because I'm working, but that's another story.
Yeah, there you go.
I will watch one match when I get home.
Roman and Big E, or is it Becky and
yeah.
Charlotte?
No, I couldn't give two rat's asses about that.
Oh,
man.
really? I think that's like the best build, though. I think that's been the best build of all the matches.
Roman and Big E.
And there's real life heat,
Roman
bro.
and
They
Big
hate
E.
each other.
See, I
Oh,
told
is
you
it
we
the
get it
running?
running.
Yeah, I see the top of his head. That's it. I just see the hair.
Yeah.
I just see the hair.
Roman and Big E is the only match I'll watch. So
All right. Well,
yeah.
Matt's kid's home. We're going to let him go be a dad. We're going to get out of here. Thank you all for hopping in the chat for this extra long version of the Weekend Elite Report. We appreciate all of you, and we will see you here next week, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another edition of it. Until then, though, peace out.